A very good afternoon to everyone. My name is Dr. Chandni Parihar. I'm Marketing Manager with Trau Nutrition India. आज के इस वेबिनार को ज्वाइन करने के लिए आप सभी का धन्यवाद। हमारी टीम से आज हैं डॉक्टर सौरभ शेखर, our मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर, डॉक्टर ब्रिज मोहन, सेल्स डायरेक्टर, डॉक्टर सुजीत, FA डायरेक्टर. From our sales team, we have Mr. Mohit, Dr. Rajiv, Mr. Ganesh, and Mr. Praveen. Along with our speakers for the day, Dr. Sabiha Kadri, our technical head, and Mr. Avinash Bhatt, Manager Master Lab India. Before we proceed further, Dr. Saurabh would like to say a few words.
Thank you, Dr. Chandni. First of all, I would like to welcome all the participants. I see a lot of senior people also in the list, and thanks for taking your time out. ये जो वेबिनार है ऑप्टिमाइजिंग फीड कॉस्ट विद हाई क्वालिटी प्रोडक्शन, ये सबके लिए आज के दिन में बहुत रेलेवेंट है. इट वाज ऑलवेज रेलेवेंट एक्चुअली कि इस टाइम पे जब रॉ मटेरियल्स की शॉर्टेज है, रॉ मटेरियल्स की प्राइसिंग वेरी अनप्रेडिक्टेबल है, उसमें हम अपने फीड कॉस्ट को कैसे ऑप्टिमाइज करें साइमल्टेनियसली मेंटेनिंग द हाई क्वालिटी प्रोडक्शन. सो एंड द बेस्ट पार्ट इज, जो सबसे अच्छी बात है कि ये वेबिनार वन वे कम्युनिकेशन नहीं है. ये वेबिनार ऐसा है कि हम आपसे सीखते हैं और आप हमारा जो ग्लोबल नॉलेज है उसको हम शेयर करते हैं. So please feel free to ask questions. Please feel free because Dr. Chandni will explain that how we are going to take the webinar. Polls हैं बीच में, आपके question answers हैं. So please feel free and make it more effective. Again, thanking every one of you, the participants, to take your time out from your schedules to attend this webinar. I'm sure that it will be very helpful for all of us. So thank you, Dr. Chandni.
Thank you, Dr. Saurabh, for a beautiful welcome. Before we welcome our first presenter, a few guidelines for the audience. Please keep your audio on computer audio mode to ensure that you're able to hear our presenters all the time. Questions will be taken up in the end during quick question and answer round. As you can also see on your screen, we have the agenda and we have 15 minutes of question and answer round. However, you can raise your hand or type in your questions for us to know that you have a question for us. Now introducing our first speaker, Dr. Sabiha Kadri. She has almost 15 years of experience in the poultry industry. With her PhD from IVRI, Dr. Sabiha has worked extensively on nutritional management concepts, providing advice on feed cost management, raw material quality, and feed additives management. Welcoming Dr. Sabiha to please present.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks everyone for taking your time out and attending this webinar. मैं आज जो हूँ हिंदी और इंग्लिश दोनों मिक्स करके बात करूंगी. मेरी हिंदी इतनी अच्छी नहीं होगी, so अगर कुछ मिस्टेक्स हो रहा है तो काइंडली एक्सक्यूज मी फॉर दैट. So मैं जो आज ब्रीफ करूंगी, I'll be talking about various factors जो involved है in optimizing the feed cost, and the concepts that help in optimizing the feed cost and how to maintain the quality while we are carrying out this exercise. So जब हम लोग देखते हैं कि पोल्ट्री प्रोडक्शन के लिए ये 3 पिलर्स जो है बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, ये सब लोग आप जानते हैं. तो इसमें ब्रीड, मैनेजमेंट और फीड, ये 3 फैक्टर्स हैं. और जब हम लोग ब्रीड और मैनेजमेंट की बात करते हैं तो ये मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स हमारे हाथ में नहीं होता है और बहुत एक्सपेंसिव होता है कोई भी क्विक चेंजेस करने के लिए. सो फॉर एग्जांपल ब्रीड, हम सब लोग जानते हैं कि सिर्फ एक ही ब्रीड बहुत सालों से डोमिनेंट था. फिर अभी जो है, अभी का सिचुएशन हम लोग देखेंगे तो 2-3 ब्रीड है जो डोमिनेंट है मार्केट में. और अगर हम लोगों को ब्रीड में कोई चेंजेस चाहिए, जैसे इम्प्रूवमेंट्स इन FCR या मोर नंबर ऑफ चिक्स पर हेन अगर करना ही है तो ये तुरंत नहीं देख सकते हम लोग इस इफेक्ट को. एटलीस्ट 2 या 4 साल लग जाएगा इन सबको इनका इफेक्ट देखने में. सिमिलरली मैनेजमेंट कंडीशन, हमारा मतलब इंडिया एज अ कंट्री, हम लोग काफी सालों से जो है ओपन साइडेड हाउसिंग की प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं, तो उसकी वजह से हमारी बायोसिक्योरिटी कंडीशंस वगैरह इतनी अच्छी नहीं है. इट इज गुड बट नॉट टू द ऑप्टिमम लेवल. और अगर इसमें हम लोग चेंजेस करना चाहते हैं इन टर्म्स ऑफ ब्रिंगिंग इन एनवायरमेंटली कंट्रोल्ड हाउसेस और ऑटोमेशन वगैरह अगर हम लोग लाना चाहते हैं तो दैट ऑल्सो रिक्वायर्स लॉट ऑफ कैपिटल इन्वेस्टमेंट। लेकिन जब हम लोग फीड की बात कर रहे हैं, यहाँ पे जो चैलेंज हमको दिखेगा वो मेनली जो दिखेगा वोलेटिलिटी इन रॉ मटेरियल्स, बोथ इन टर्म्स ऑफ सप्लाई एज वेल एज द प्राइस। लेकिन इसके साथ एडवांटेज ये है कि ये बहुत आसान है इसमें चेंजेस करना, बहुत फ्लेक्सिबल है ये, और इट इज वेल विद इन आवर कैपेसिटी। ये कंपैरेटिवली ब्रीड और मैनेजमेंट के व्हेन यू as opposed to breed and management, it is easier, it is comparatively easier and cheaper, but still यही है जो 70 to 75% ऑफ प्रोडक्शन कॉस्ट को कंट्रीब्यूट करता है। तो फीड ही सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर है जो हम लोग कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं, और ये ब्रीड फीड मैनेजमेंट तीनों एक साथ जो है शुड बी गिवन इक्वल इंपॉर्टेंस अगर हम लोगों को एफिशिएंट परफॉर्मेंस चाहिए। तो जब हम लोग फीड की बात कर रहे हैं तो सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज जो रहता है जैसे हम लोग कमोडिटी मार्केट्स में भी देखते हैं डिमांड सप्लाई गैप, सेम जो है हमारे एनिमल न्यूट्रिशन इंडस्ट्री में भी देखने को मिलता है सप्लाई डिमांड गैप। तो सप्लाईज में क्या हो सकता है इन टर्म्स ऑफ वोलेटिलिटी इन द रॉ मटेरियल्स, नहीं तो स्कैरसिटी हो सकता है, नहीं तो क्वालिटी डिफरेंसेस हो सकता है। और जो डिमांड होता है, सर्जिंग डिमांड जो हम लोग देखते हैं, वो हो सकता है बिकॉज ऑफ चेंजिंग कस्टमर नीड्स, सेफ फीड टू फूड कॉन्सेप्ट, सस्टेनेबिलिटी जो है बहुत बड़ा टॉपिक बन रहा है आजकल, वेलफेयर, डिमांड वोलेटिलिटी, ये सब जो है डिमांड को बढ़ा सकता है। तो जो ये गैप है इन दोनों के बीच में, सप्लाई डिमांड गैप, इसको हम लोग एड्रेस कर सकते हैं बाय एनिमल न्यूट्रिशन। अगर हम लोग ऑप्टिमाइज करते हैं, प्रिसाइज न्यूट्रिशन देते हैं फीड में टू द एनिमल्स, फिर वो जो है इस गैप को हम लोग जो है काफी हद तक रिड्यूस कर सकते हैं। तो फीड कॉस्ट की जब हम लोग बात करते हैं, हम लोगों को पता चल गया कि फीड जो है इजीली मैनेज कर सकते हैं। फीड में जो है एनिमल न्यूट्रिशन, प्रिसाइज न्यूट्रिशन प्रैक्टिस करने से सप्लाई के डिमांड गैप को ब्रिज कर सकते हैं। और जब हम लोग उसकी कॉस्ट की बात करते हैं तो बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स इन्वॉल्व है फीड कॉस्ट को कंट्रोल करने में। उसमें सबसे पहला जो होता है और सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट जो होता है वो है न्यूट्रिएंट रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ स्पीशीज। तो हमको पता होना चाहिए कि कौन से न्यूट्रिएंट्स कितने चाहिए होगा ब्रॉयलर, ब्रीडर और लेयर के लिए, और फिर उस न्यूट्रिएंट्स के लिए क्या क्या कंस्ट्रेंट्स होगी। तो ये उन न्यूट्रिएंट्स को पाने के लिए हमको किस टाइप के रॉ मटेरियल्स ऐड करने पड़ेंगे, उनकी लिमिटेशन क्या होगी, वो अवेलेबिलिटी कैसी होगी उस रॉ मटेरियल की, उनकी प्राइस कैसे होगी और उसकी क्वालिटी कैसे होगी। तो सिर्फ यहाँ पे स्टॉप नहीं हो जाता है, क्योंकि ये सब जो है एक कंसल्टेंट या न्यूट्रिशनिस्ट के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है इन सब पैरामीटर्स को कंसिडर करने के लिए। इसके अलावा भी हमको बाकी चीजों को भी ध्यान देना पड़ेगा, जैसे कि फॉर्म ऑफ फीड, किस टाइप का फीड हम लोग बनाने वाले हैं, पेलेट होगा या क्रम्बल होगा या मैश होगा, डिपेंडिंग ऑन फॉर्म ऑफ फीड उसकी कॉस्ट जो है वेरी होगी, उसकी न्यूट्रिएंट रिक्वायरमेंट भी वेरी होगी। और प्रोडक्शन प्रोसेस, सो फॉर एग्जांपल पेलेट मिल की कैपेसिटी क्या है, 20 टन्स पर आ रहा है या 10 टन्स पर आ रहा है, किस टाइप के कंडीशनर यूज कर रहे हैं, पोस्ट पेलेटिंग एप्लीकेशंस क्या है, फिर किस टाइप के इंग्रेडिएंट्स हम लोग यूज कर सकते हैं। हम लोग तो ऐसे 3-4 इंग्रेडिएंट्स दे देंगे, लेकिन कल को अगर फीड मिल जो ऑपरेट करते हैं, अगर वो लोग बोलेंगे कि नहीं मेरा फीड मिल ये वाला इंग्रेडिएंट एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर सकता है, मेरा थ्रूपुट कम होगा, तो उसको भी हम लोगों को ध्यान में रखना पड़ेगा। और ग्रेड्स ऑफ फीड, जब हम लोग ग्रेड की बात करते हैं, मोस्ट ऑफ द फीड मिलर्स जो है नॉर्मल प्रैक्टिस है एटलीस्ट 2-3 वेरिएंट्स ऑफ फीड बनाने का, इकोनॉमिकल रेंज, प्रीमियम रेंज और हो सकता है मीडियम रेंज। तो उसके हिसाब से भी जो है फीड कॉस्ट जो है वेरी हो सकता है। और फिर लास्ट बट नॉट द लीस्ट द फीड फॉर्मुलेशन। फीड फॉर्मुलेशन जो है इन सब फैक्टर्स को कंसिडर करके फीड को फॉर्मुलेट करते हैं, और दिस इज द पैरामीटर जो है इट कंट्रोल्स अराउंड 60 to 70% ऑफ द फीड कॉस्ट। सो जो फीड बनाते हैं दे शुड बी वेरी वेरी इफिशिएंट इनफ, और उनको पता होना चाहिए किन चीजों में वी कैन प्ले अराउंड। ठीक है, जब फीड कॉस्ट कंट्रीब्यूशन की हम लोग बात करते हैं तो मेनली ये जो है थ्री वर्टिकल से आ सकता है। it will be majorly from the major ingredients जो मक्का सोया हम लोग यूज करते हैं, ऑयल, मक्का सोया, DORB, रेपसीड एक्सेट्रा, तो ये कंट्रीब्यूट करेगा अराउंड 85 to 92% ऑफ द कॉस्ट। और सप्लीमेंट्स जो हम लोग बोलते हैं कैल्शियम का सोर्स हो या फॉस्फोरस का सोर्स हो, सोडियम क्लोराइड, पोटेशियम, कोलिन क्लोराइड, अमीनो एसिड्स, ये सब जो सप्लीमेंट्स में आता है, और इनका कॉस्ट वाइटामिन्स, मिनरल, ट्रेस मिनरल्स, ये भी सप्लीमेंट्स में आता है, तो इसका कॉस्ट होगा लगभग 6 to 12%। और एडिटिव्स, सो सारे फीड एडिटिव्स जो एनिमल की एफिशिएंसी को बढ़ाने में हेल्प करता है, जैसा आपका एंजाइम हो गया, टॉक्सिन बाइंडर हो गया, लिवर टॉनिक हो गया, ये सब एडिटिव कैटेगरी में आते हैं, और इसका कॉस्ट कंट्रीब्यूशन विल बी अराउंड 2 to 6%। तो जो जहां पे आपको कॉस्ट मेजरली कंट्रोल करना पड़ेगा, दैट विल बी इन योर मेजर इंग्रेडिएंट कॉस्ट। जो अगर आपको बहुत सारा डिफरेंस देखना है फीड कॉस्ट में, तो एट द सेम टाइम इवन दो एडिटिव्स का कॉस्ट कम है, दे प्ले अ मेजर रोल इन इन्फ्लुएंसिंग द क्वालिटी ऑफ द फीड। तो इसको हम लोग, वी शुड नेवर थिंक ऑफ रिड्यूसिंग दिस कॉस्ट। इस कॉस्ट को इधर हमको मेंटेन करके रखना पड़ेगा, नहीं तो 1-2% बढ़ा भी सकते हैं। जब हम लोग ऑप्टिमाइजेशन की बात करते हैं, व्हाट इज मेंट बाय ऑप्टिमाइजेशन एग्जैक्टली? ऑप्टिमाइजेशन का मतलब है प्रोवाइडिंग द ऑप्टिमम न्यूट्रिएंट्स टू द बर्ड्स विद द अवेलेबल रॉ मटेरियल्स एट द लीस्ट पॉसिबल कॉस्ट। जब हम लोग लीस्ट पॉसिबल कॉस्ट की बात करते हैं, तब ये ध्यान में रखना पड़ेगा कि हम लोग क्वालिटी को कॉम्प्रोमाइज ना करें। It's always about optimization is always about giving a good feed at the minimum possible cost, but without compromising the nutrients of the diet. जो animal को मिलना चाहिए nutrients, that should be properly available to the animal. So ये feed cost optimization की जब हम लोग बात करते हैं, ये वेरी हो सकता है depending upon the operation the customer is into. अगर producer is mainly a feed miller, तो उनका गोल्स होगा मेनली टू प्रोड्यूस ए क्वालिटी फीड, सो उसका इफेक्ट क्या होगा? इट विल बी इन टर्म्स ऑफ इम्प्रूव्ड फीड सेल्स, और दे विल आल्सो ट्राई टू इम्प्रूव द प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी। जब इम्प्रूव प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी की बात करते हैं, तब इफेक्ट मेनली होगा इन टर्म्स ऑफ इम्प्रूविंग द ब्रांड इमेज इन द मार्केट और मिनिमाइजिंग द लॉस। जब हम लोग मिनिमाइजिंग द लॉस की बात करते हैं, दैट मीन्स कि वी टेंड टू absorb the loss that might arise due to situations of crisis. तो जैसे अभी कोविड वगैरह की सिचुएशन है, जहाँ पे रॉ मेटेरियल मिलना ही मुश्किल हो रहा है, या रॉ मेटेरियल्स की प्राइस की हाइक हो गई थी, जैसे कुछ महीनों पहले कॉर्न का हुआ था। तो ऐसे सिचुएशन में the feed miller tries to minimize the loss by absorbing the cost at his end itself rather than passing it on to his customer. So he tries to maintain the feed cost. ये main effect होगा वहाँ पे. So these will be the optimization goals of a feed miller. जब integrator की बात करते हैं, तो वहाँ पे mainly जो goals रहेगा, that will be in terms of optimizing production cost per kg meat produced. That will help in improving the bird performance or improving the profitability, so that there's an improved market share, and minimizing the loss. तो यहाँ पे जब हम लोग मिनिमाइजिंग द लॉस की बात करते हैं, दैट इज मेनली इन टर्म्स ऑफ मिनिमाइजिंग द न्यूट्रिएंट्स फॉर अ लॉन्गर टाइम, सो दैट डाइल्यूटेड फीड इज बीइंग प्रोवाइडेड, ताकि बर्ड्स जो है मार्केट प्राइस के हिसाब से फिर हम लोग जो है लिक्विडेट कर सकते हैं। सो दिस इज मेनली इन टर्म्स ऑफ मेंटेनिंग द प्रोडक्टिविटी ऑफ द बर्ड्स एज पर द मार्केट सिनेरियो। So, जब हम लोग फीड कॉस्ट ऑप्टिमाइजेशन के फैक्टर्स के बारे में बात करते हैं, जब ऑप्टिमाइजेशन की बात करते हैं, तो बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स इन्वॉल्व रहते हैं। सो अदर देन द सप्लाई के बारे में तो हम लोग पहले देख चुके हैं कि सप्लाई इज अ मेजर इशू। सो सप्लाई के अलावा जब हम लोग बाकी फैक्टर्स की बात करते हैं, तो मेन जो रहेगा प्राइस, इट विल प्ले अ मेजर रोल। लेकिन प्राइस ही एकमात्र फैक्टर नहीं होता है। सोर्सिंग, कहाँ से हम लोग सोर्स करते हैं उस रॉ मटेरियल्स को, that will also have a say on the cost. फिर nutrient content, हमको हमेशा ये ध्यान रखना चाहिए कि we are paying money for the nutrients, We are not buying the raw materials. We are buying the nutrients, and we are charging for the nutrients that we buy. So we should give much importance to that. Or storage, this is also very, very important, क्योंकि हम लोग अगर कोई अच्छे रॉ मटेरियल को परचेज करते हैं और उसको अगर हम लोग ठीक से स्टोर नहीं कर पाते हैं, तो उसमें माइक्रोबियल इन्फेस्टेशन होने की चांसेस है या ऑक्सीडेशन होने के चांसेस है। तो जब ये प्रोसेसेस होंगे तो क्या होगा, उस रॉ मटेरियल की न्यूट्रिएंट कंटेंट जो है चेंज हो जाती है, जितना पहले होना चाहिए था वो घट जाता है। तो we are actually depreciating ourselves. We are actually paying more and getting less nutrient content by not storing it effectively. And the other one is feed moisture. Feed moisture वो वाला concept है जिसमें हम लोग moisture add करते हैं in term when the external environmental conditions are very dry, hot and dry या type of climate, या अगर इनकमिंग रॉ मटेरियल अगर बहुत ड्राई है, तो अगर हम लोग प्रॉपर मॉइस्चर ऐड करते हैं अलोंग विद गुड एडिटिव, तो ये क्या करेगा, इट विल हेल्प इन इंप्रूविंग द फीड मिल एफिशिएंसी, व्हिच इन टर्न विल रिड्यूस द फीड कॉस्ट। सो ये सारे फैक्टर्स जो है एक्सट्रिंसिक है, ये सारे एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर्स है जो हम लोग बहुत इजीली जो है देख सकते हैं, इट्स क्वाइट एविडेंट टू आवर आईज। ऐसे कुछ फैक्टर्स है जो हिडन रहते हैं और हम लोग उस पर ज्यादा ध्यान नहीं दे पाते हैं, बट दे आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एज वेल, लाइक डाइजेशन एंड सब्सिक्वेंट अब्सॉर्प्शन ऑफ द न्यूट्रिएंट्स। मान लीजिए हम लोगों ने बहुत अच्छा रॉ मटेरियल परचेज कर लिया, बहुत अच्छा फीड बना लिया उससे, लेकिन अगर बर्ड में इन्फेस्टेशन है, किसी एक्सटर्नल सोर्स से उसको माइक्रोबियल इन्फेक्शन हो गया, या it has got microbial infection from the water, तो गट हेल्थ अफेक्ट होगा, और गट हेल्थ अफेक्ट होगा तो उन न्यूट्रिएंट्स की ठीक से डाइजेशन और अब्सॉर्प्शन नहीं हो पाएगी, which will indirectly affect your feed cost optimization. जितना आप मेहनत लगा के उन न्यूट्रिएंट्स को फीड में डाल के आप बनाए हो फीड, उसका you don't get the benefits out of it, which in turn is compromising your feed cost. Also in the same lines is dysbiosis, जहाँ पे microbial balance बिगड़ जाता है गट में, और mycotoxicosis, which will also have a bad effect on the gut health. So these are all intrinsic factors or internal factors, और ये factors carry equal relevance as that of the extrinsic factors in controlling the feed cost optimization. Next is our poll. Okay, the most important factor in feed cost is nutrient requirement of the species. That is the very, very important one. बाकी जो भी आपके factors रहेंगे वो उसके आसपास ही होता है. First and foremost factor which determines the feed cost is the nutrient requirements. क्योंकि जब आपको nutrient requirements पता चल जाएगा, और जब आपको पता चल जाएगा कि how to play around with that, वो हमेशा जब आप modify करेंगे उसके हिसाब से feed cost जो है change होगा. जब हम लोगों ने देख लिया कि फीड कॉस्ट के फैक्टर्स क्या क्या हैं, फीड कॉस्ट को ऑप्टिमाइज करने के लिए इंटीग्रेटर्स के गोल्स क्या हैं, फीड मिलर्स के गोल्स क्या है, और उसको ऑप्टिमाइज करने में कौन से फैक्टर्स इन्वॉल्व रहते हैं, जैसे कि इंट्रिंसिक फैक्टर्स एंड एक्सट्रिंसिक फैक्टर्स, वी विल क्विकली सी. आई बिलीव एवरीवन नोज दिस कि कौन से न्यूट्रिएंट्स इंपॉर्टेंट है वेरियस स्पीशीज में. फिर भी मैं जस्ट एक बार बताना चाहती हूँ. सो जब हम लोग न्यूट्रिएंट्स ले लेंगे और ब्रॉयलर, ब्रीडर और लेयर करके देखेंगे तो द मेजर न्यूट्रिएंट दैट इज ऑफ इम्पोर्टेंस टू ए ब्रॉयलर विल बी अमीनो एसिड्स, और वो भी जो है डाइजेस्टेबल अमीनो एसिड्स। और फिर दोबारा डाइजेस्टेबल अमीनो एसिड्स में वी शुड टेक अ कॉल कि हमको इलियल डाइजेस्टेबिलिटी वैल्यूज यूज करना है या AFT वैल्यूज यूज करना है करके। SID is a more reliable measure of amino acid digestibility. Similarly, amino acids जो है ब्रीडर लेयर में इंपॉर्टेंट है, बट नॉट टू दैट एक्सटेंट। जब हम लोग ब्रीडर और लेयर की बात करते हैं तो वहां पे जो न्यूट्रिएंट दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इज कैल्शियम फॉस्फोरस, ऑब्वियसली, क्योंकि उनको अपना बॉडी का स्ट्रक्चर भी मेंटेन करके रखना है, और एग प्रोडक्शन में भी they should use this calcium and phosphorus. So more than the individual components, the type of calcium that is being used, coarse या fine या कब फीड करते हैं, और कैल्शियम फॉस्फोरस का रेशियो जो है वो इम्पोर्टेंट रहता है। और ब्रीडर्स में एडिशनली माइक्रोन्यूट्रिएंट्स आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, क्योंकि यही माइक्रोन्यूट्रिएंट है like your trace minerals and vitamins, it gets carried on to the egg, and they have an important say in dictating the fertility and hatchability of the eggs. और बाकी जो है like your mycotoxins, they are more important in breeder and layer because of the longer life cycle, or they also affect the gut health. तो एगशेल, एग प्रोडक्शन और एगशेल क्वालिटी जो है अफेक्ट हो सकता है अगर बहुत ज्यादा माइकोटॉक्सिन, बहुत ज्यादा भी नहीं, अगर कम लेवल्स भी हो गए। इवन 5 ppb फॉर अ ब्रीडर एंड लेयर for a longer duration of time will have more effect on the bird performance than 5 ppb in a broiler, which may not have much effect at all. Protein quality is more important in a broiler. So protein quality की बात करते हैं तो प्रोटीन कंटेंट पर से नहीं है, मतलब 18% प्रोटीन या 22% प्रोटीन, दैट इज नॉट इम्पोर्टेंट। किस टाइप का प्रोटीन हम लोग देते हैं, उसकी डाइजेस्टिबिलिटी क्या है, उसका anti-nutritional factors उसमें क्या क्या है। So for example, when we take soybean meal, it should be heat processed properly so that that protein is actually available to the bird for digestion. So इसको हम लोग measure करते हैं mainly by trypsin inhibitor activity, urease activity, and KOH solubility. Fat quality is more important in a broiler than a breeder and layer, क्योंकि hardly यहाँ पे हम लोग fat use करते हैं। यहाँ पे we should make sure that we use more unsaturated fat than saturated fat. Saturated fat use ही करना है तो later stages of life में हम लोग जो है use कर सकते हैं। Similarly, energy is more important in breeder and layer because they respond very quickly to energy. Broiler में भी important है, लेकिन broiler ad libitum feeding है as opposed to breeder and layer जहाँ पे more restricted है। We know that 100 grams ही खाएगा, 100, 110, 120 layer, और ब्रीडर जो है 160, 170, 180 तक जाएगा में भी। लेकिन ब्रॉयलर का ad libitum है तो energy may not have much impact here, but it will have a greater impact here. ज्यादा एनर्जी हो जाएगा तो बर्ड में फैट डिपोजिशन हो सकता है जो प्रोडक्शन को अफेक्ट कर सकता है। फाइबर इज इम्पोर्टेंट अक्रॉस द स्पीशीज, क्योंकि फाइबर हेल्प्स इन गिजार्ड डेवलपमेंट। तो गिजार्ड का अच्छे से डेवलपमेंट होगा तो वहां पे ग्राइंडिंग अच्छे से होगा, फीड रिटेंशन ज्यादा होगा। जब फीड की रिटेंशन ज्यादा होगी तो डाइजेशन अब्सॉर्प्शन भी अच्छा होगा न्यूट्रिएंट्स का, तो उसकी वजह से द बर्ड्स परफॉर्मेंस विल बी गुड एंड द गट हेल्थ आल्सो विल बी गुड। सो जब हम लोग फीड ऑप्टिमाइजेशन की बात करते हैं तो बहुत सारे कॉन्सेप्ट्स इन्वॉल्व है या टूल्स इन्वॉल्व है, प्रोडक्ट्स इन्वॉल्व है जो हेल्प करते हैं इन इम्प्रूविंग दी digestion optimization of the optimization of the feed cost. So we can see them one by one. So the first one is cocktail enzymes and phytase. This is a well established concept, ये सबको पता है कि enzyme और phytase जो है they help in improving the gut health, और उसके साथ साथ they help in unlocking the hidden nutrients जो as such they'll be unlocked because they cannot be utilized by the bird, तो उसकी वजह से there will be liberation of more nutrients. So अगर इस concept को practice ही करना है तो we should always and always go for reformulation concept. It doesn't make sense to use a cocktail enzyme as a on top concept. it should always be used as a reformulation strategy. और हम लोग जब cocktail enzymes की बात करते हैं, it will be good to have xylanase, amylase, and beta-glucanase in that combination, if not for all the other enzymes. And protease has to be included only when the protein quality is bad. So if we are using like DDGS or gluten meals or MBM, which is not of that good quality, fish meal, etc., jahan pe, there's a problem with respect to the consistency of the product, wahan pe we can use protease to have a better better effect of the protein, that is digestibility from those sources. When we talk of phytase, सुपर डोसिंग कॉन्सेप्ट यूज करना बहुत अच्छा है. अभी तो बहुत सारे लोग आ गए जो सुपर डोसिंग कॉन्सेप्ट के बारे में बात करते हैं, और बहुत सारे न्यू जनरेशन फाइटेसेस है. सो इट्स बेटर टू यूज फाइटेस एक्टिविटी ऑफ मोर देन 500 FTU per ton feed. Then of course there are also some concepts that help in improving the quality of the feed. So for example, organic acid concepts, ये mainly act करेगा in controlling the microbes in feed, water, and gut. I'll be talking in detail later about this. Then process moisture management concepts. This is for improving the feed mill efficiency. Mycotoxin binder concepts, because we saw that if mycotoxins are present in the feed, they will affect the poultry production. So because they cause poor gut health conditions. So we should have a quick, accurate, and reliable quality control measures to assess the mycotoxin risk that is possible and take effective measures accordingly. Then of course, precision nutrition concepts. So they are mainly in terms of NIR and feed formulations of the packages that can be in terms of FOS, best mix, Brill, or format, etc. So when we talk of precision nutrition concept, Trau has a concept known as NutriOpt. It is a modular precision feeding concept that comprises of 4 pillars. 4 pillars है इसमें. जो 2 components left में हैं, NIR measurements और nutritional database. ये mainly NIR के through आता है ये results, और जो component यहाँ पे है right hand side में, that is based on modeling. So जब हम लोग NIR measurement की बात करते हैं, ये mainly होता है to have a quality assurance or quality control of the raw materials and feed through analysis in NIR. So NIR जो है, it gives a quick analysis of the nutrients in the raw material. So we provide offerings in terms of calibrations for the desktop NIR or the mobile NIR. So mobile NIR is an innovative technology that we have come up with, and my colleague Mr. Avinash will be talking in detail about how it works. The other one in this vertical, ये जो है nutritional database है, ये extended nutrients इसमें हम लोग लेते हैं, जैसे कि amino acids हो गया, energy हो गया, fatty acid profile हो गया, और ये जो हम लोग derive किए हैं, this is based upon scientific trials. तो हम लोगों ने बहुत सारे R&D और validation trials किया है, जिसके basis पे we have come up with these equations. This database, along with the approximate report that we get from the NIR, can be quickly taken into the least cost formulation. अगर आपके पास बेस्ट मिक्स है या ब्रिल है, तो उसमें जो है easily हम लोग जो है export कर सकते हैं इस डाटा को, which is always the limitation with the conventional systems. जब हम लोग मॉडल्स की बात करते हैं, it is a prediction model जो propose करता है optimized diets का based upon the market conditions और customer के need or production goal पे based on that it will propose a diet. So it's a dynamic model which predicts your feed diets according to your needs. इसके अलावा we also have some nutritional add-ons in this concept. You know, ये जो nutritional add-ons है, they are mainly to provide a guidance on the structure concept, जिसकी बात मैं कर रही थी. Fiber is very important for good gizzard development, so that fiber can be controlled by suggesting which type of fiber to be fed, किस type का coarse fiber देना पड़ेगा, किस रेशियो में देना पड़ेगा, पार्टिकल साइज क्या होना चाहिए फीड का, एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा. So we can provide guidance on that, and also we provide guidance on calcium phosphorus ratios across the species. And there's another innovative add-on that we have added in here. It's known as split feeding concept. This is for breeders and layers. So, you know, egg production is a very complicated physiological process in laying birds. और उनका रिक्वायरमेंट जो है मॉर्निंग के टाइम पे डिफरेंट रहता है और आफ्टरनून या इवनिंग के टाइम पे डिफरेंट रहता है. आफ्टरनून से जो है बर्ड मेनली जो है इट स्टार्ट्स प्रोड्यूसिंग द डेपोजिटिंग द कैल्शियम ऑनटू द एगशेल एग. तो उसका मेन रिक्वायरमेंट आफ्टरनून में रहता है, कैल्शियम की रिक्वायरमेंट होती है. और मॉर्निंग का रिक्वायरमेंट अगर हम लोग देखेंगे तो मेनली रहेगा एनर्जी, प्रोटीन, फॉस्फोरस एक्सेट्रा. सो this based upon the need of the bird, we understood that, and हम लोगों ने बहुत सारे ट्रायल्स वगैरह किया उसमें, और हम लोगों ने क्या किया, उसको स्प्लिट किया into different types of feed, मॉर्निंग फीड और आफ्टरनून फीड करके. जब हम लोग ये अलग अलग से देंगे, it helps in improving the egg production, actual quality को improve करता है, and thereby it optimizes the feed cost. The another concept that we have in this add-on is pre-peak, Nutria pre-peak concept. So this is mainly for layers. It's एक diet है जो हम लोग propose करते हैं after pre-lay and before the pre-peak, before the peak of the birds for a period of 7 to 8 weeks, so that the bird can come into production early and it can have a persistent lay, improved laying persistency, and also it improves the egg size and egg weight. So that was with one of the concepts for precision nutrition. Precision nutrition is something we need to practice right from the analysis of incoming raw materials. That is what we saw for the NIR, till the feed is being offered to the birds. So it should be practiced along the entire production chain of birds, of poultry production. Right. So in that, one of them, which is linked to the measuring the precision, achieving precision in analysis of raw materials, and the next step is producing a new feed that is precise in nutrients. So for this, we use LCF softwares or least cost formulation softwares. Even आज भी हम लोग जब देखते हैं कि बहुत सारे लोग जो है ना Excel यूज करते हैं, Excel से you should put in lot of efforts to really bring in a optimized feed formula. But softwares will create an edge with respect to the precision in nutrient offering. So the formulation package, जो भी हम लोग formulation package use करेंगे, the main objective of that, or the it should fulfill the objective of having an updated database of nutrients for various raw materials, and these should be updated on a continuous basis. तो इसमें बहुत सारे सॉफ्टवेयर्स है जो अवेलेबल है मार्केट में. बेसमिक्स हो सकता है, फास्ट हो सकता है, ब्रिल हो सकता है, या फॉर्मेट हो सकता है, and most of them more or less act in the more similar way. Again, we should remember that these are softwares. It should be handled by people who have who excel in handling those softwares and who know how to play around with the nutrient requirements, the nutrient constraints, and the raw material constraints. So FOSS is a formulation service package that we have with us, and we even provide it to our customers, which enables them to have a precise formulation. Another poll, please. can see that many people are answering that. That's a good one to know. Okay, the internal factors that influence feed cost optimization are gut health. That's the right answer. You know, the other two are more extrinsic. It's a gut health that many times we tend to forget that, you know, if your gut is not good, whatever type of feed you produce, whatever excellent type of feed you produce is going to go as a waste if the bird's gut health is not maintained in the right situation. Thanks everyone for answering that rightly. Yeah. So that was one of some of the technologies that we saw by which we can optimize the feed cost, you know, Nutriopt or having NAR calibrations in terms of having precise nutrient analysis and having precision in formulating the feed. And there are a few other technologies that help in optimizing the feed cost. You know, we just saw briefly in the slides previously. Just to elaborate a little bit more here. So it can be in terms of you know, microbial control in feed. तो यहाँ पे हमारा जो objective रहेगा वो रहेगा microbial growth को inhibit करने में. It can be mold growth या bacterial growth. और वैसे करने से हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, feed की shelf life को improve कर रहे हैं. So naturally जब हम लोग ये करेंगे तो क्योंकि microbes उसमें grow नहीं हो रहे हैं और nutrients उनकी कम नहीं हो रही है, तो feed cost को हम लोग जो है indirectly जो है उसको optimize कर रहे हैं. Similarly, microbial control in gut की बात हम लोग जब कर रहे हैं तो वहां पे भी we are inhibiting the microbial growth in gut or in the water, which again you know, inhibits the microbial growth in gut. और इसकी वजह से जो है microbial balance जो है between the beneficial and the bad bacteria वो बना रहेगा gut में. So because of this also we are optimizing the feed cost. And then the process moisture management, you know, this is something that helps in improving the feed meal efficiency, the pellet quality, and also improves the shelf life of the feed. So efficient feed is produced at a reduced cost, comparatively reduced cost. And then of course, last but not the least, the mycotoxin mitigation. You know, here you are improving the bird health by not exposing the birds to much mycotoxins, improving the bird performance, and improving the egg production and shell quality in laying birds. And each and every aspect needs to be assessed, you know, to optimize the feed cost. So these are some of the offerings from Trau Nutrition. I will not be going in detail, you know, the Phylax range, Phyzal, and Toxo XL, Toxo MX and Toxo XL. These are components of feed safety, which help in controlling the microbes and mycotoxins in feed and thereby inside the body of the animal as well. And the concepts like cell acid, Selco-pH, and Phyzal, they help in controlling the microbial load in the gut and thereby help the bird in having better gut health conditions. So we also provide services associated with this, you know, offerings. It's not that we talk only about the product, we talk it as a solution that is being offered to the customer. So we have a master lab in Hyderabad where we do nutritional, microbiological, and toxin analysis. We have a MycoMaster, which is a fast, reliable, and you know, accurate analysis of mycotoxin contamination. Anything, it can be measured by strips specific for specific toxins. And then we have dosing equipment when we talk of process moisture management concepts, which help in delivering the right moisture and the product into the mixer. And for Selco-pH, we have two service packages. So one is iDrip, is a on-form tool which helps in giving an idea of the amount of acidifier that has to be added into the water. And Selco Inline is a dosing equipment that helps in controlling the amount of acidifier that is being pumped into the pipelines. That's it from my end. Thank you everyone for listening to me. And please allow us to be a reliable partner in feed cost optimization and quality feed production.
Thank you, Dr. Sabiha. It was a very informative presentation. And for everyone, I would just say that we are receiving the questions and we'll be taking all these questions in the end. For now, I'll be introducing our next speaker, Mr. Avinash Bhatt. Avinash Bhatt has over 20 years of experience in analytical laboratory analysis and R&D. He has been a co-author in several peer-reviewed research papers and a co-patent holder for the development of anti-mastitis vaccine in cattle. Welcoming Mr. Avinash to please present. Mr. Avinash, if you could unmute yourself, please.
Thank you, Dr. Chandani. Welcome to webinar, all visitors to our webinar. So now I'm going to introduce the NutriOpt Advisor or mobile NOA. This is a small device weighing around just 1.5 kgs, and it's a mobile. Unlike it's a innovative invention from our ProNutrition India, ProNutrition. So I'm just going to demonstrate how exactly it works. So okay, this is a handheld instrument. This is consisting of, you can see here. So this is a light source for the NIR, so near infrared light, and this instrument has to be charged before first you are going to start with this one. Around 18 hours charging is essential. So it's already charged and fully started. So it works with mobile technology. So what you require is a mobile phone with there is a this an app called NutriOpt. So from the actually from you can download the NutriOpt mobile from the Play Store. So this is right now this is available on the Android phones. Okay, now I've just described. This is consisting of, this is a total. So there is a scan button, and also there's a light source here, and also here is a what you are going to see, the charging. So it has to be, this is a charging port here. So this has to be charged before use, and also it comes with a calibrator. This is a calibrator. So this is a two sides. Actually, it was one called yellow side and one is white side. So when for the first time when you're starting for the day, this calibration requires for the both sides, white and yellow side. So this is the initial step. For every sample, we have to calibrate with the yellow side. So now I'm going to start with the calibration. So now first I will introduce to the. Can you see? I think you can see this one. This is, I think it's very difficult. It's not clear. Maybe. So this is a here there are different. So home screen, there is a reports, scan, clients, and accounts. First, when you are starting, you should have an account setting has to be required. This is credentials. So you have to fill the credentials, and also, so what are the, then also there is a NutriOpt credentials. So you have to log into the this is a NutriOpt server. So it has to be, that has to be provided by ProNutrition. So then, so that is a home screen. I will start with the home screen. You can see the scan raw materials. When I ask that one, so you can see that one that's actually already is asking for the calibration. So now I'm going to do the calibration. So this is the calibration. I'm just going to put for the white side, and here this click. Click scanning. Now scanning is okay. So you can just, so you can see here there is a, it's a, actually it's a, the process, the progress actually is been displayed in the, in your screen in the mobile. So now still it's doing the scanning. So now there is a shears blinking. It is connected via Bluetooth. The instrument is connected via Bluetooth and also connected through an internet. So this is also depends on the internet speed. This also has to be quite good. Then only it actually works a little more faster. Yeah, so now actually this is ready. The ready screen is coming here. So now actually there's a 5 spots are coming. It's showing that. So now the sample is ready for scanning. So we have to scan the samples for the 5. So this samples can be scanned in any bag, or because since it can be mobile, it can be readily used. So this light is on here. You can see here. So this is an IR that penetrates the sample. Now I am just putting the samples on the sample. I put it on the tray. This is a May sample, and I'm just putting the scanner. So now just you can see here, this already the first one is now it's a slightly yellow in color. So that is mean actually the scanning is started. So you can see the blinking. So normally the scan button is here. So let's start blinking. So when it's ready, that will be a check mark will come. You can see now here there is a check mark. Right mark is come. Now I am going to scan in another place. So in other place again I am just press the scan button again. So now second one has started. The second one is also ready. Now I have to scan it for in the third place. It will take only about 5 different scans it requires. So then afterwards, actually it combines all the scans, the spectra will be collected, and the spectra will be transmitted to the server. From the server, actually the equations will be calculated for its nutritional value. When the scan is running, actually you can see the blinking. The third is also ready. Now I'm just putting them in the fourth place. Normally, NIR radiations actually penetrate in the samples, so in the deep into the sample and reflects back. So the reflectance, that's called NIR reflectance. So reflected, the radiations will be picked up, and it will generate the spectrum. Now fourth sample is running. The fourth sample is also ready. Now this is another place I am just putting here. Now the last one. Now it's almost ready. Now we are ready for finalizing the result. Now it's ready now. Actually now it displays as select client. So you can select whatever the number of clients you can select here. So here I have selected my name itself. So I have to select the client to whom it has to be. Then there is some form of the form you have to fill up. So there's a profile. Select a profile, select a material type, and select a material. So here, so this is for actually, if I'm going to use it for this material, for example, for the poultry, so I am going to select the of poultry. Then the type of material. So normally this material is dry samples, or even wet sample are also available. So it is a dry samples. So I am going to material type is a dry. So I think you can see here dry sample. Yeah. So now, so what is the material? Now material type you have to select. So this is a maize sample. So I am going to, so maize sample, this is a maize. Okay, I am selected the maize, and final entry is actually you are going to the description of the sample. So you can enter the sample ID, or so I just give a demo. So I have just given this demo and select. So here, so I am going to complete the order. Now, so all the data is transmitting and it's synchronizing, and it is sending to the server, and the report will be soon. It will generate the report. So now, so it will show. So report is getting generated. So it depends on the internet connectivity. So if its internet connectivity is slow, so then it will be very little bit slower. Otherwise, it is going to it will be a little bit more faster. Here my connection is little bit slow. So now it's generating a report. It will take maybe roughly around 30 seconds or so. Sometimes it may take a little more time also. It's taking a little more time.
Thank you for that, Avinash.
Yeah, this already report has been generated. So you can see that yeah, this is it can be shared also.
Yeah, maybe you can close your webcam. Thank you so much, Avinash.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So the report that is being generated would look something like this. You know, it has approximate principles, and then the total amino acids they had taken for all species, so that's the reason it is showing swine as well. And then the energy profile for poultry, you know, it says AME for poultry, AME for layer, and for broiler, because their energy digestibilities are different. And then the SID values for poultry, you know, for the amino acids, and also the AFD values. So it is up to the customer. He has a choice whether to choose the AFD or the SID. But we will always recommend to use the SID because that's a more better value in terms of the utilization of amino acids. There's also a table values of the minerals. These are actually not analyzed through the NIR because NIR can only analyze the organic components. But these are just table values to give an indication of the the mineral profile for that ingredient, for corn in this case. And then in the end, it gives you an indication of where that that your specific raw material stands with respect to the tolerance limits. So if you see here, the black arrow, it shows the value of that raw material, and the green space is the global tolerance limits that we have set for that raw material for corn. And the orange ones are the acceptable limits. So, you can have moisture as low as 9% and as high as 14.5%. But the limits that we have set is 11 to 14. And this raw material is falling within that limit, and it has a value of 11.5%. So we have done this for all the proximates. And so it gives you an idea of where you stand with respect to the, acceptability of that raw material for the tolerance limits. So that was with respect to the NIR technology, the mobile NIR, which is the innovative solution we have got with us. I will just give you a demo of the feed formulation software that we have with us. It is from Bestmix and it is known as FAST, so formulation as a service. As with the all the formulation packages, this also has companies or plants where you can create here customer wise or your plant wise. And then it has a detail on the nutrients, so the nutrients that are of importance in poultry and the units they carry. So this is mainly maintained by our global team. And then it also has a very broad list and a long list of various ingredients that are used in poultry. So it has dry ingredients, it has wet ingredients, it has a profile of enzymes, a profile of phytases that are commonly available in the market. The list is long. You can also create your own ingredients, based upon the list that is present. So for example, you can click on an ingredient and create your own report and make adjust the nutrient values in those raw material depending upon the results that you have from the lab. Just 2 seconds. The one that is shown here has a crude protein of around 48%. If you're going to analyze it in a lab, and if you feel that the crude protein is not that high and it's only 46%, then you can change it accordingly. And if you feel the ether extract or the fat content is not 2%, it's only 1.5%, and the fiber is not 3.5, but it's on a higher side like 6%, then you can change accordingly. And then if you see here, the energy profile we have now is 2247 kilocalories of AME poultry. Okay, you have done these changes, and then when you do calculate equations, the software is going to recalculate the nutrient profile of that raw material with the values that you have included there. And now if you see, the AME poultry has actually reduced. Okay, that's because we have increased the fiber and reduced the protein. Increase in fiber naturally causes a decrease in the energy content. So it's quite flexible in terms of creation of ingredients, and then you already have the nutrients with you, right? And then the raw materials, and then what we do is we create a formula. You can either copy paste existing formula, or you can always create your own new formula and include the raw materials accordingly. Okay, the first and foremost step is defining the nutrients. So defining which are the minimum nutrients, which are the maximum constraints that you're going to have. So maybe we always take fat as a maximum constraint, fruit fiber as a maximum constraint, and we limit both calcium and phosphorus, calcium, both minimum and maximum, because it's the the cheapest ingredient that is available. And if you are not going to limit it, then always least cost formulation package tends to pull in the cheapest ingredient that is available. So you try to limit that, limit the electrolytes as well. Choline can be left free. Choline you tend to get from the raw materials, but you need to include it as an ingredient to show that you get maximum value out of it. Also, for the digestible amino acids, you need to give absolute value only for lysine, and then give the ratios or the constraints for the ratios. Instead of taking absolute values, you go for give the ratio for the constraints. So maybe methionine, you can give ratios here. Similarly for threonine, tryptophan, isoleucine, valine, and arginine. And then you put in your raw materials that are available with you. Check the raw materials for the prices. Put constraints. If you want to limit those raw materials, you can put minimum or maximum, and always use minimum and maximum for the additives. So if you're going to use emulsifier or a mold control or betaine or organic minerals, always give a min max. Recheck for the prices, recheck for the nutrient constraints, and then you can optimize the formula. Yeah, so it has taken the constraints for the amino acids, and it has tried to fulfill the additives as well, and it has given a formula that is costing around 29.5 rupees for a free startup. And you can always add in ingredients and try to set limits for them if that ingredient is available with you, which will then give you more better fit cost optimization. So I just added in rapeseed meal. If you're going to add that, it's not that economical. So it's going to only save you around 69 rupees per ton of wheat. So you take informative decisions, and then you can generate a report from it and share it with your fellow colleagues or the owner of the organization, just to have a look or double check on the feed that is going to be produced. So this is how the report will look like. And then you can export the report by various means, say it as a PDF or Excel or a CSV file or a text file, etc. That's it from my end. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sabiha. Thank you, Mr. Avinash. And now we'll be taking up all the questions. Apologies, we've overshot the time by a little bit, but we'll quickly check on all the questions and be reverting on those. So our first question for today is, conventional antioxidants prevent oxidative residue. how to prevent hydrolytic rancidity due to microbial degradation during storage. Dr. Sabiha, can you take this up?
Yeah, sorry, can you repeat the question, Janni?
Conventional antioxidants prevent oxidative rancidity. How to prevent hydrolytic rancidity due to microbial degradation during storage?
Okay, so antioxidants, if you are talking about that, you can add in antioxidants either for the feed or for the ones that can act inside the body of the bird. So they are known as biological antioxidants. So that is the one you can add in if any oxidation is occurring due to microbial growth. So that will be mainly your vitamin E, vitamin C, selenium, or some natural antioxidants. And if we are talking about protection of feed from oxidation, then they'll be mainly in terms of BHT or BHA or hydroxyquin.
Thank you. Our next question is, please share your experience on morning.
That answers your question.
Yeah, I hope it is so for the asker. For all, we'll also ensure that we'll also send you an email from our end, and we'll take up all the questions for individually in case we are not able to take it up right now. Yeah, sorry, doctor. So our next question is to please share your experience on morning and afternoon feeding in broiler breeders, and what is the best time for feeding?
Okay, so we have not yet implemented this in India, but we have practiced this a lot in Europe and in Latin America. And we have seen that when it's given a morning feed, so it's like 5 p.m. 5 a.m., 6 a.m. And the afternoon feed will be somewhere around 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. So we are giving two different types of feed. It requires a bit of investment. So you need to have two different silos just so that there is no confusion created with respect to the type of feed that is being offered. Because if the feeds are going to be reversed and fed, then the entire purpose of this concept may go wrong. So you need to have a morning silo, you need to have an evening silo. And these silos need to be adjusted at the time of feeding so that the birds get only those feeds. We have seen that by practicing this. Other than the improvements in the performance characteristics, we have seen that there's a great savings in feed cost because you're not feeding energy and protein when the bird doesn't actually require it. So the evening feed is more calcium based, and your morning feed is more of a energy and protein based diet.
Thank you, doctor. Our next question is, if we take care of pH control and feed through organic acids, then do we need to use acidification through water?
Yeah, so this is a very common query that we get. Why do we have to add to water? So water is also one of the routes of entry for microbial contamination, and other than that, you're also improving the water quality as such per se. And because if it's going to be a highly alkaline, very hard water, it can affect the intake of the water as such. And they can also contaminate the pipelines, leading to biofilm formation in the pipeline, which can also degrade the quality and quantity of water that the bird gets. So that's the reason, acidification has to be carried out not only in the feed, but also in the water. And those acidifiers should be capable of acting within the gut of the birds as well.
Thanks. Thank you, doctor. Our next question is, lecithin oil can be used in layer till what level, and it will replace what?
Okay, lecithin oil can be used in layers, not exactly in the laying diet I would propose. You can use it till the till before the prelay diet. You can use up to 1 to 2%, 1%, 1.5%. This is mainly for achieving the body weight, both in case of layers and breeders. Till in the rearing phase, it's all about body weight and having the correct body structure, the shank length, etc., and the right uniformity in the flock. So body weight is the most essential one there. So I would recommend that it can be used during the rearing phase. I would not recommend it in the laying phase.
Thank you. Thank you, Doctor. Moisture optimization by addition of water in mixer, does it promote oxidation?
No, not exactly. It will not promote oxidation, but it can, if a right product is not used, if you're going to add only water, then it can increase the amount of free water in the feed, which will invite microbial growth. So you are actually inviting the molds and bacteria to grow in by providing that free water. But if you're going to use that along with a good product, which has a mold inhibitor and a good surfactant, then that can take care of that free water, make it more of a bound water, which will not then be available to the microbes, and will also help in controlling the microbial population for the duration that that feed is intended to remain.
Thank you. And we'll be taking up two last questions now. So our second last question is, in summer, what should be the minimum calcium level in broiler finisher in concern with optimum feed and water consumption and broiler performance?
Okay, so the calcium levels are really tricky, and we have done we have carried out so many trials to see what are the optimum calcium phosphorus levels. It's always calcium phosphorus when we talk of calcium, and we have seen that even in summer conditions we can go as low as 0.7% of calcium, along with the available phosphorus level of 0.38% or maybe 0.35%.
Thank you, Doctor. Our last question for the day. Whenever gut health is compromised or there is dysbiosis, then there's transamination of certain amino acids, reducing their bioavailability. So we need your opinion on amino acid level supplementation.
When the gut health is compromised?
So when the gut health is compromised, there is transamination of certain amino acids, which will reduce their bioavailability. So if you can share your opinion on amino acid level supplementation.
Yeah, so when our gut health is compromised, I would suggest that, specifically amino acids like threonine, tryptophan, and to some extent valine, but specifically threonine, you can increase those levels maybe by 5 to 10% to have a better gut health condition.
Thank you, Doctor. So we'll be closing the question and answer session now. We have exceeded the time limit by 15 minutes, and we'll be closing the session. So thank you everyone for joining in today. Thank you for taking out your time from your schedule, from your busy schedule, and we hope that this webinar was informative and you did take some information from this webinar. We'll reach out to you through the given email ID, and our sales team will also remain in touch with you. Thanking all our team and our presenters who did such a wonderful presentation. Thank you, everyone.